Authorities have a suspect in custody after more than a dozen pipe bombs sent to high-profile Democrats and the media were intercepted this week.
And the court gives new explanations on why the Invest in Ed ballot measure known as Prop 207 was blocked from the ballot.
Plus, how a program in Tucson is lending a helping hand to single mothers.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Gabriela Becerra.
And I'm Andre Sims. Thank you for joining us.
We are learning more about the investigation that led to an arrest today following a string of mailed pipe bombs targeting Presidents Obama and Clinton and other high-profile Democratic leaders. Federal authorities have arrested 56-year-old Cesar Sayoc of South Florida in connection to the suspected explosive packages sent this week and also took his van into custody. More than a dozen packages in total were sent not only to Democratic political figures, but also critics of the president and CNN's offices in New York City. Law enforcement officials said DNA evidence helped investigators identify the suspect.
This is utterly unacceptable. Political violence or the threat of violence is antithetical to our vigorous system of self-government.
Recipients of the packages included Democratic donors Tom Steyer and George Soros, former President Barack Obama, actor Robert De Niro, and former CIA Director John Brennan at CNN. The suspect has been arrested several times in the past, including one incident where he made a bomb threat against a utility company.
Today's arrest doesn't mean we're all out of the woods. There may be other packages in transit now.
Investigators say Sayoc initially told officers the pipe bombs wouldn't have hurt anybody.
Vice President Mike Pence will be in Yuma today to campaign for Republican Senate candidate Martha McSally. Pence is scheduled to speak at the Joe Foss hangar. Pence chose Yuma as the setting of his speech for its role in the release of migrant families. The city is part of the larger narrative in the White House arguing for tighter border security.
Defense Secretary James Mattis has approved sending U.S. military troops to the border. The troops are to help with logistics and provide assistance to Border Patrol upon the arrival of a caravan of Hondurans seeking asylum. Mattis says the troops are not there to combat the asylum seekers, but adds they are allowed to defend themselves. The troops will instead provide material to reinforce the border and give medical attention to any Border Patrol troops who may need it.
Following the contentious Supreme Court decision to remove Red for Ed's Prop 207 from the ballot, we haven't seen how each justice voted until now. The Arizona Supreme Court says it blocked the Invest in Ed ballot measure seeking to boost taxes on the rich from the November ballot because proponents failed to reveal it also would increase some taxes for other taxpayers, and it misstated the actual increase on high-wage earners. The explanation issued by the court today outlines why the court blocked the measure with the 5-2 vote. The court said the proposal had not fully disclosed how other people other than rich would be affected and ruled the proposal had used confusing language. Chief Justice Scott Bales and Justice Ann Timmer dissented.
Cronkite News is giving you a daily tally on early voting in the state as of today. The Arizona Secretary of State's office has received nearly 40% of the estimated 2.2 million ballots expected in election 2018. According to the latest report, about 854,000 Arizona voters have cast their ballots already. About 44% of those early ballots were registered Republicans, about 33% were registered Democrats, and 22.6% of the ballots were designated independent or other. A top analyst with the Secretary of State's office says as of today, the ballots received are evenly split 50-50 between male and female voters. The median age of those voters is 56 years old.
If you want more facts related to our key Arizona midterm races and propositions, our Cronkite News team has you covered. We have a special section on our website dedicated to election 2018. Our team compiled candidate profiles and in-depth reports on ballot initiatives. You can check it out at cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
A Tucson program is helping low-income mothers come out of poverty. Cronkite News reporter Abdel Jimenez takes us to meet some of the moms and kids in this life-changing program.
Mothers in Arizona Moving Ahead, or MAMA as it is known, is a program supported by the Pima County government that not only provides resources like legal, educational, and financial assistance, but it's also a place that provides a much-needed support system for moms in similar situations. There was a time in Alisa Bianca Ponte's life when she had 2 kids and didn't have enough money to keep the lights on at her apartment or pay for car insurance.
When you're growing up in poverty or you're living in poverty and you're having to deal with these issues, car insurance is a luxury.
A luxury Aponte simply couldn't afford. That is, until she was introduced to Mothers in Action Moving Ahead, MAMA, a Tucson-based program which helps mothers out of poverty by providing resources and support.
A program that really came out of the Ending Poverty Now initiative to look at, could we design something that could really help families in the community and working with community organizations to help people move out of poverty.
The program is open to all and targets families considered working poor, meaning those who fall below the poverty line. According to the Labor Bureau statistics, women of color continue to be twice as likely to be among these kinds of workers compared to white and Asian women. So far, the program has helped dozens of families.
It sort of starts with an intensive 50 hours, and that can be 8 to 16 weeks. And then it goes into the circles of care, which are once a month.
More than 80 women graduated from the MAMA program, and at the event, the moms created posters like this one showing their goals. For most of them, that's being a role model to their kids.
If you are in a stage in your life that you feel like you want to make a change, like that is the first, that thought there is a seed, like plant it.
Aside from the financial resources they get here, most of the moms say it's the connections they make with other moms what makes them even more determined to leave the cycle of poverty behind.
We all go around and give a hand to the mom next to us. Eventually, you find a hand on your back saying you can do it.
Bonnie Bazada says the MAMA program is moving to Tucson schools after receiving a health grant. The goal is to continue to expand so they can help other mothers facing similar struggles.
We've been experiencing warmer temperatures here in the valley this week.
What can we expect going into the weekend, Matt?
Well, guys, we're going to continue to see warmer temperatures throughout the weekend and into next week. As you can see behind me here, we have a high pressure system moving in off the coast of California, moving eastward, and that's going to affect us, keep our air dry, keep our temperatures warm. We were in the mid-80s today. If you're going to see some football tonight, 80 degrees at kickoff, 76 by halftime. Temperatures only going down into the low 70s this evening. And across the valley tomorrow, temperatures pretty much all around 90 degrees. Out east, 88 in Apache Junction, 89 down Queen Creek. Around the central parts of the valley, 90 degrees in Tempe, 91 in Phoenix. And going out west, 90 in Glendale, 90 down in Levine and in Avondale and in Goodyear as well. Going across the state tomorrow, along the western side of the state, you can see the temperatures also in the 90s, 92 in Lake Havasu City, 91 in Quartzsite. Up north in higher elevations, it's going to be a little bit cooler, 68 in Flagstaff, 71 in Page, 78 in Sedona. Should be a nice day to take a trip there. The temperatures throughout the weekend will remain around 90 degrees for a high Saturday and Sunday, and then they'll dip down just a little bit with some cloud cover Monday and Tuesday, and then get toward average for this time of year by the end of next week. From the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm Matt Kling.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. The famous words uttered by Neil Armstrong as he took his first steps on the moon, making history as we know it today. Reporter Tanaya Williamson tells us how Neil Armstrong was connected to the state of Arizona.
The movie First Man follows Armstrong's journey to becoming an astronaut for NASA. It also shows how he and his family dealt with the dangers of space travel.
Well, we're not sure we're going to get onto the moon. A lot of things have to go right before that happens.
Before taking steps on the moon, astronauts had to take steps in places in northern Arizona.
Yeah, the geological training that they did was a huge part of the objectives of the first moon landing.
In 1964, Neil Armstrong and other astronauts headed to the Grand Canyon to learn more about the geology of the moon.
When they went to the moon, even though they didn't expect, to see a Grand Canyon, as it were, they could look at different rock types and kind of have an understanding of what they were.
He gets off the ladder and takes those first steps. Shortly thereafter, he's grabbing a contingency sample and putting it in his pocket, his thigh pocket, so that if anything else went wrong, they could get home with at least that.
Along with learning what to take from the moon, astronauts had to learn what the moon looked like before taking flight.
I had used the airbrush a little bit, not really that much. But I could make some drawings from that.
Artists like Patricia Bridges were hired to draw maps of the moon used by astronauts when they came to train at the Lowell Observatory in Flagstaff.
I thought, well, that doesn't sound too bad. So, and then they set up a place for me to do the airbrush mapping too. I had an art degree, but I had no idea I'd be, doing something like that as my life work, basically, as it turned out.
As years went on, Neil Armstrong made it to the moon and made history for the United States. In 2012, Neil Armstrong returned to Flagstaff.
And it was a breathtaking presentation. And what we didn't know at the time is it was his last public appearance.
Neil Armstrong died just a few weeks after visiting the Lowell Observatory.
It's kind of a neat coming of circle. He was, here first for training in 1963. 49 years later, he comes back to celebrate his love of engineering, and that's his last public appearance right here in Arizona, here in Flagstaff.
In Flagstaff, Tanaya Williamson, Cronkite News.
The Lowell Observatory continues to celebrate the life and legacy of Neil Armstrong. The movie First Man is currently in theaters. Still to come on Cronkite News, our top stories of the week.
We'll look at the Arizona legacy of Sandra Day O'Connor following a major announcement on her health and public life.
Plus, we meet a Valley boy recovering from a mysterious polio-like disease as doctors try to find a cause. And we'll introduce you to some women looking to change the status quo of the welding industry.
Former Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor announced her early stages of dementia and likely Alzheimer's disease to the nation today. Cronkite News reporter Jimmy Jackson talked with the judge who knew O'Connor about her impact here in Arizona.
Former Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor's announcement mentioned that because of her diagnosis with dementia and possible Alzheimer's, she will be stepping away from public life. Chief Judge of the Arizona Court of Appeals Samuel Athuma recalled the times he spoke with O'Connor and says it was an honor of a lifetime.
She is an icon and a pioneer in every sense of those words. She has been, after her time on the court, when she stepped aside an active service in 2006, just a tireless champion for teaching civics in elementary schools and the independence of the judiciary.
Today's announcement brings awareness to the disease, and the Alzheimer's Association tweeted a thank you to O'Connor for sharing her diagnosis. Alzheimer's research is the least funded chronic illness in the U.S., according to the association. Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease researcher Edward Afori says brain diseases are increasing and money is needed to tackle the problem.
Getting more funding is definitely important so that we can solve in these situations, not necessarily, not only perhaps lead to a cure, but also treatments and rehabilitative measures for people that have these chronic diseases.
Judge Thuma fully supports O'Connor's decision and says he knows that it was a hard one.
My thought would be to keep her and her family in our thoughts as they continue to progress and deal with this disease that's affecting them in ways that I can't fully appreciate, but I sure wish them all well.
Alzheimer's would not be new to O'Connor, as her husband lost his battle with the disease in 2009. In Phoenix, Jimmy Jackson, Cronkite News.
O'Connor was the first female justice appointed to the Supreme Court. Before that, she was a judge for the Arizona Court of Appeals, as well as a member of the Arizona State Senate. Former Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor had a major impact, having grown up in the Phoenix area. The ASU Law School bears her name, and so does a local high school.
A rare disease similar to polio has now affected at least 8 children in Arizona. Cronkite News reporter Samantha Lomibao spoke to one boy about his diagnosis and treatment.
The day that it happened, he woke up normal.
10-year-old Talon Spitzer went to school, even though he had a shoulder and chest pain, came home, and that night, Rochelle Spitzer asked Talon to get ready for bed and to bring his dirty clothes upstairs.
I was scared. I didn't know what was going on.
And that's when he realized that, that he couldn't pick up his hamper. It was that quick.
In just a matter of minutes, Talon went from his nightly routine to being rushed to the hospital.
And I was sitting in there in the ER room demanding that I'm not taking my son home with his hands paralyzed.
And I couldn't open my hands anymore. At first I thought it was like a joke, like I was kind of laughing and stuff. And then I realized it was serious. And that's when I was got really scary, and then I just couldn't control anything anymore.
It took doctors several months to diagnose Talon with acute flaccid myelitis. While they were trying to determine what caused the paralysis, Talon underwent weeks of physical therapy to try to regain movement.
When Talon first came in, there were multiple issues that we had to address. Weakness. He had a lot of weakness in his lower extremities, a lot of weakness in his upper extremities.
He's went from not walking. We didn't know if he would, and he couldn't use his hands at all, and he slowly, over 2 years, regained that, but it doesn't come easily.
And simple things like tying a shoe are all things Talon had to relearn.
Has a hammer in his hand, and we're just working on strengthening his wrist motions. Something that you and I would take for granted, opening a doorknob.
Talon has now recovered enough to play one of his favorite sports.
He had to go through a lot of therapy to even be able to walk again, and then it was starting to build up the endurance and stuff, and then kind of moving into running from there. This has been his 3rd season now that he's been playing rec soccer again.
Although he is on the road to recovery, there's still more work ahead on his journey.
I just look at something that I can do right now and I say, I just want to do that, and so I work towards it until I can do it.
According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, AFM may be caused by viruses and mild environmental toxins, with most cases being found in children. In the Broadcast Center, Samantha Lomibao, Cronkite News.
Culture, not costumes. Protesters walked onto the property of an online retailer selling Halloween outfits that resemble Native American dress. Sammy Gieber spoke to those speaking out to protest these designs.
People, not costumes! People, not costumes!
Signs and petition in hand.
I have here a change.org petition with almost 23,000 signatures asking Yandy to retire their Native American costume line.
Would you please leave our premises? A group is advocating for this Phoenix-based online retailer to stop the sale of costumes they say exploits their culture.
These small things are not small.
Everything has meaning, even like colors and types of materials used.
Cher Thomas is in the business of making traditional Native clothing. And everything, from patterns to symbols, has meaning.
So when you go to make this clothing, you have to be very cognizant of those things.
So when Thomas sees companies like Yandy put out costumes resembling Native clothing, she describes it as disrespectful and believes it can perpetuate violence against Indigenous women.
You know, Native clothing is about sanctifying the individual. When companies like this use our traditional dressmaking and manipulates it, it feels dehumanizing.
So this is us speaking out as Native people.
Yandy has been in the spotlight before. In September, the company pulled a sexy costume resembling that of concubines in the Hulu series The Handmaid's Tale after social media outcry.
Handmaid's Tale is able to get more support from this company than actual people.
Yandy says on their website these sexy Native American costumes pay homage to the beauty of the tradition.
That it's not okay for you to costume us.
But protesters think otherwise. In Phoenix, Sammy Giebers, Cronkite News.
Yandy did not respond to requests for comment on the petition or the protest, but they did tell activists they appreciated their sentiments and understand that they have a right to express their opinions.
It's impossible to predict when and where thunderstorms during Arizona's monsoon will strike. Researchers at the University of Arizona are finding new ways to predict the monsoon's behavior. Cronkite News reporter Jordan Evans found out how digging at the bottom of the ocean could provide some answers.
The North American monsoon is a change in the weather pattern during the summertime for the southwest United States. The skies can change from radiant to rainy in an instant. This pattern change can bring all sorts of weather, from storms to dust, but the monsoon's intensity may be something we can better understand in the future.
In fact, it is in this laboratory at the University of Arizona where researchers have spent years analyzing compounds of mud from the Gulf of California in hopes of finding a connection with the monsoon.
So this is a sediment core, and you can see here that the mud from the seafloor is captured.
Jessica Tierney is a geologist at the University of Arizona. She uses this espresso-like machine to take this mud and turn it into a liquid full of secrets.
What we're looking at are the waxes that are on the leaves of plants. They're preserved for thousands of years in the mud from the Gulf of California. By measuring this chemistry of the plant waxes, we can actually go back in the past and tell you how much summer versus winter rain there was. This is the first study to actually quantify how the monsoon has changed since the last ice age, and that's why it's kind of an unopened book for us.
The research shows the monsoon was much weaker during the last ice age than it is today. She says having the ability to look at the monsoon's behavior with numbers is a new breakthrough, and that's why the research has sparked the interest of other scientists.
If they can go down to deeper layers where it was a warmer period, it was interglacial, something where we had similar kind of CO2 that we have now, and they can see how was the monsoon consistent then? Did it continue? Was it more intense? Was it less intense? That will be very useful information.
Useful information that could open up ideas for other areas of research, like forecasting drought.
I hope that this will be relevant for policymakers. So especially our work that's done here, I think it could be directly relevant for water resource management. If we have a better idea on how the monsoon will behave, can certainly help people in the Southwest plan for future drought.
The research has only made conclusions about the North American monsoon's behavior from about 20,000 years ago, but the hope is to integrate the data with global climate models.
What we're interested in knowing about is how the monsoon is going to change in the future and how we can prepare.
In Tucson, Jordan Evans, Cronkite News.
The team is currently pursuing mud samples from even deeper layers of the seafloor. That could help them understand how the monsoon acted millions of years ago.
Welding is the binding of metal with the use of a hot flame. It is also a career field usually geared towards men. Reporter Tanaya Williamson met with a few women who are heating up the industry, thanks to classes offered at the Refrigeration School Incorporated in Phoenix.
I don't know what it is, but something about the noises, the smells, getting dirty and gritty, and just making fires and grinding stuff. It's just, I love it.
Emily Donahue took on welding classes to improve her skills as an artist.
I felt more intimidated about my personal standpoint of learning it rather than being outnumbered gender-wise. So I've always been able to scrap it with the boys pretty well.
Schools like RSI have females in their programs who are taking part in HVAC and welding.
Melissa Hayes worked in the health field before making a career change.
It just wasn't for me. So with welding, I mean, you still interact with people, but I just like to disappear underneath the hood and just, you know, put my work in that way.
Hayes says welding isn't just about the personal freedom, it offers her a better income.
I have a son that I want to provide for, and this is very good earning potential.
According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average annual income of a welder is just more than $40,000. For some of the men at RSI, having women part of the team is an added bonus.
Women are really big on safety, and they'll take that extra step to do a job done right the first time, as opposed to taking a shortcut and trying to minimize the time it takes to do a job.
For Emily Donahue, being a woman is only one factor. She just wants to weld.
I'm kind of excited, more of a challenge than anything, to get out there and to be the minority in this field.
In Phoenix, Tanaya Williamson, Cronkite News.
According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, women currently make up just 9% of the construction field, which includes welding, cutting, and building.
Phoenix restaurants rooted in history rely on loyal customers and an appreciation for the past. That's a fact highlighted after a downtown staple closed its doors after 9 decades. Reporter Charisma Sandoval shows how longtime businesses leave a lasting impact.
Longtime Phoenix restaurants often mean much more than a place to eat. One customer mourned the closing of a restaurant she and her husband often visited.
It was our favorite place when we first got married. We've been coming here since 1971, and
It was our weekend thing to do, and he has since passed, so it holds a lot of memories.
Singhai Chop Suey House closed its doors in downtown Phoenix after 90 years. Jonathan Larkin, a frequent customer, said he waited more than an hour to have one last meal there.
For me, as a former legislator, I received one of my first endorsements here, and I just want to come back, say goodbye.
Michelle Dodds, Historic Preservation Officer for Phoenix, says the city values the historic touch restaurants like these bring to the community.
There's a real appreciation, more so now than ever, for a property that offers something unique, something that has a history, something that's just not some cookie cutter thing you could see anywhere in the U.S.
Some restaurants preserve history in a different way with a historic building. A pharmacy that opened in 1929 has been turned into a diner where customers can sip drinks from a soda fountain.
We decided we wanted to buy McAlpine's because we didn't want to see it close. The previous owner was going to auction everything on eBay, and we just felt it was such a piece of American and Arizona history. It was really special.
But restaurants still may fall to the bulldozer.
I think it's just the way the city's progressing, and new businesses coming in, and the tall buildings and hotels and all the venues that are going on around here. So I think it's just changing with times.
In Phoenix, Charisma Sandoval, Cronkite News.
Support for Arizona PBS comes from viewers like you and from...
I'm David Goldstein, owner of Biltmore Loan and Jewelry. We buy or loan on upscale assets. We have over 30 years of experience in determining values of automobiles, jewelry, art, collectibles, and antiques. For more information and appointments, biltmoreloan.com.
Whitfield Nursery, proud to